My name's Phoebe. I've been out since I was 16. Not marching in pride parades out. More like, haha, I'd marry Zendaya out. I made the jokes before anyone else could. I flirted with girls the way people do with baristas, casually, exaggerated. So nobody took it seriously, including me. It was easier that way. Being the gay one in the friend group meant people expected you to be quirky and loud, not vulnerable, not romantic, not the kind of person who actually felt things. So I kept it light. I stayed funny. I stayed safe. And then Ava moved in. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching. My best friend Lauren called me while I was halfway through folding my laundry and said, "Hey, my cousin's spending the summer in the city. She'll be hanging out with us, so try not to make it weird." Which is exactly the kind of warning you give someone right before something becomes very weird. I met Ava 2 days later at Lauren's game night. She was already sitting cross-legged on the living room rug, holding a glass of wine like it belonged in her hand, eyeliner sharp enough to cut me in half. She looked nothing like me. I've got soft features, a forgettable jawline, the kind of quiet blonde hair that's basically just light brown apologizing. She had short, dark waves tucked behind her ears, and rings on every finger like her hands were performing a play I couldn't follow. When she looked at me, my throat tightened. Lauren introduced us. "Phoebe, this is Ava." "Ava, this is Phoebe. She's aggressively gay. Don't let her near your playlist." I laughed too loud. "Only if you've got Haley Kiyoko on there." Ava smirked. "Who says I don't?" It wasn't flirty, not really, but it also wasn't not. I spent the rest of the night pretending not to look at her mouth when she sipped her wine. The next few weeks blurred. Ava didn't just visit Lauren, she joined us. Bonfire nights, thrift hauls, aimless Sunday Target runs. Somehow, she always ended up walking next to me, sitting next to me, texting me instead of Lauren when she wanted someone to meet her at the farmer's market. And I kept playing it cool. Cool as in never saying what I was thinking, never doing more than a sideways glance, never touching her longer than a second too long. I was good at this. I'd been practicing my whole life. The thing is, I've always known I like girls. I knew when I was 12 and couldn't stop staring at my camp counselor's ponytail. I knew when I bought a best friend's necklace set in middle school and only gave one half because the girl I wanted to give the other two moved away before I could. I knew it. I just never did anything about it. I watched other people do things. Be bold, be kissed, be chosen, and I told myself I didn't mind. That it wasn't for me, that I was too awkward, too plain too late. But Ava made me want to stop watching, which terrified the hell out of me. One night, after a backyard movie night, Ava offered to drive me home. It wasn't that late, but I wasn't going to say no. She had one hand on the wheel, the other tapping the rhythm of the music on her thigh. She hummed along to the song, Lord, of course, and I stared straight ahead, fists curled in my lap like I was bracing for impact. "You're quiet tonight," she said. I shrugged. "Just tired, I guess." She glanced at me, and something about the way her eyes lingered made my skin buzz. "You're different around me." My heart did a full somersault. "What do you mean?" "I don't know. You're usually all sharp comebacks and gay panic. With me, you go kind of quiet." I barked out a laugh, panicked and too loud. "I do not." "You do." She smirked. "It's cute." There was a beat of silence. I swallowed hard. "You flirt like it's a hobby." "I flirt when I mean it," she said, softer now. I didn't respond. I couldn't. My brain was a static channel, just the sound of her words echoing inside me like a dare. She parked outside my place. "Night, Phoebe." I didn't move. My hand was on the door handle, but my eyes were still on her. My lips parted, but no words came out. She waited. I failed myself. "Night," I finally said, and got out. I didn't look back. Later in bed, I stared at the ceiling and imagined saying it. Just one sentence. "I like you," or even a whisper, "Don't go." It wouldn't have been hard. The words were right there, but fear always runs faster than desire. And anyway, maybe she was just being nice. Maybe I imagined the way she looks at me. Maybe I've always been better at loving people from far enough away that they don't notice. But I'm starting to wonder if that's the kind of person I want to be forever. Because Ava sees me. She really sees me. And I'm afraid she won't wait forever for me to open my damn mouth. I didn't talk to Ava for 2 days after the car ride. Not because I was mad, but because I was humiliated. Like full body, soul cringing, wake up in the middle of the night, remembering. It embarrassed. She'd called me out. Gently, but still. Said I got quiet around her. Said it was cute. Cute. Cute like a baby goat or cute like kiss me already? I didn't know. I couldn't trust myself to know. The part that really messed me up, though, was what she didn't say. She didn't push. Didn't text. Didn't bring it up when I showed up at Lauren's 2 days later for movie night, pretending I was fine and not having a minor gay meltdown. She just smiled that small, calm Ava smile, the kind that makes you feel like you've been caught doing something honest. "Hey, Phoebe," she said, and that was it. No loaded glance, no teasing, which should have been a relief, but it made my stomach ache. After the movie, everyone started peeling off, some to the kitchen for drinks, others scrolling on their phones. I stood up to leave, but Ava's voice caught me. "Hey, can you help me grab the string lights from the backyard?" Lauren's place had this little patio with hanging lights we always forgot to bring in. I nodded, heart stammering, like it already knew what was coming. We stepped outside. It was humid and quiet, the kind of night where even the air feels shy. Ava started unclipping the lights from the posts, and I fumbled with the other end. Our hands brushed, and I flinched. Not because I didn't like it, but because I did. "I'm sorry," I blurted. She paused. "For what?" "For, getting weird. In the car." She wrapped one of the lights carefully, methodically. "Phoebe, if I stopped hanging out with girls for getting weird around me, I'd have no friends left." I laughed, but it came out nervous and shaky. She set the lights on the table, then leaned against the railing, arms crossed. "But if you want to talk about it, I'm here." I stared at her, the confidence in her stillness, the softness behind it. "I don't know how to talk about it," I said. "Try anyway." I took a breath and looked at the concrete under my feet. I've liked girls forever. Like, since forever. But I've never dated anyone. Not seriously. I always freeze. I joke. I deflect. I say something dumb, and then panic, and then ghost the situation. And with you, it's worse, because I couldn't say it. She waited. "I actually care what you think," I finished. The silence wasn't uncomfortable. It was just present. She pushed off the railing and stepped closer. "I already know you like me." My breath hitched. "I've known since that first game night when you stared at my mouth like I was a slice of cake you weren't allowed to eat." "Shut up." "You did." I was laughing, but I felt like I might cry. She looked down at me, because of course she was taller, and said, "I don't want you to be anyone else around me. You don't have to perform or joke or hide. I just want you." The way she said it, steady, simple, broke something open in me. "But what if I don't know how to do this?" I whispered. She reached up, gently tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. Then let me show you. That night, she walked me to my car. No one else noticed. Maybe Lauren did, but she didn't say anything. We stood there, just us and the streetlight casting gold on the pavement. I said, "You're really sure?" She nodded, and her smile this time wasn't playful. It was soft. "Only if you want it to." "I do." So she leaned in, slow enough that I could have backed away if I needed to. I didn't. Our lips touched, and I swear my brain stopped working. It wasn't fireworks. It wasn't a movie scene. It was quiet, warm, careful, real, like I'd been holding my breath for years and didn't know until that moment that I could let it out. She kissed me again, just a little deeper this time, and I found my hands in her hoodie. Found myself kissing her back like I'd been waiting to do it since the first hi. When we pulled apart, she was still close. Her forehead bumped mine. "You okay?" she whispered. I nodded. "I just can't believe I did that." "I can," she said. "I've been waiting." I didn't sleep much that night, not because of nerves, but because I couldn't stop replaying it. The way she tasted like red wine and mint. The way she touched me like I was made of something worth holding. And the weirdest part? I wasn't scared. I wasn't overthinking. I wasn't hiding. I was just happy. The next morning, I got a text from Ava. "Want to get lunch? Or make out again? Either option's fine." I stared at it for a full minute before smiling so hard it hurt. I typed back, "Can we do both?" The thing about kissing Ava, the real thing, not in my daydreams or while spiraling in bed at 3 a.m., is that it didn't undo me. It unfolded me, like all the tightly wound parts of me just loosened. And I didn't fall apart. I softened. We went out for lunch the next day like it was normal, which apparently it was for her. I still felt like I was carrying a secret, something precious tucked inside my ribs. But Ava acted like it was the most natural thing in the world, because to her, maybe it was. We got tacos from the food truck downtown and sat on the curb, legs brushing, the sun warming the side of my face. "I'm proud of you, by the way," she said, unwrapping her third taco. "For what? Not dying during our first kiss?" "That too." She grinned, licking hot sauce off her thumb. "But mostly for showing up." I stared at my untouched taco. "I still feel like I'm faking it sometimes," I said. "Faking what?" "Being confident. Being ready. Like I'm pretending to be the kind of girl you'd want." Ava turned toward me, one leg pulled up, elbow resting on her knee. Her expression softened. "Phoebe, you are the girl I want." I didn't know what to say to that, so I just nodded, and we finished lunch in a kind of quiet that felt safe. That weekend, Lauren hosted another movie night. Ava and I didn't say anything about us, not because we were hiding, but because it was still ours. And I liked that. But something had shifted. People noticed. Lauren raised an eyebrow when Ava passed me a drink before I even asked for one. Our friend Jamie grinned when Ava bumped my shoulder during the movie, and I flushed so hard I could feel it in my ears. After everyone left, I lingered behind to help clean up. Ava stayed too. Lauren threw me a look as she went upstairs, but didn't say anything. Once we were alone, Ava stretched out on the couch like she lived there. "You staying?" "I mean, if that's okay?" She tilted her head. "It's more than okay." In the room, it was quiet. I sat on the edge of the bed, nerves prickling under my skin. Ava stood in front of me, pulling off her hoodie slowly, like she knew I was watching. And I was. Every movement, every breath. "I don't know what I'm doing," I said, my voice barely a whisper. Ava knelt in front of me, her hands resting on my knees. "You don't have to know," she said. "You just have to want it." I looked at her. I'd wanted this for so long. Not just her, but the chance to be like this, to not feel like I was playing a role or waiting for someone else to make the first move. "I do," I said. Then I kissed her. Not shyly, not like I was apologizing. It still wasn't confident, but it was honest. She kissed me back like she'd been waiting for me to stop tiptoeing. I pulled her onto the bed, heart pounding. My hands shook when I touched her waist, but she stilled them with her own. "You okay?" she murmured. I nodded. "Yeah, You don't have to go fast." I exhaled. "But I want to." And so we did. Slowly, carefully, like we were unwrapping something fragile. Later, I lay in her bed, curled against her chest, her fingers tracing lazy circles on my back. My skin felt electric. I felt real, anchored in my own body for the first time in maybe forever. I didn't feel like a fraud, didn't feel like the girl who watched from the sidelines, laughing too loud and looking away. I felt like someone who had made a choice and had been chosen back. The next morning, I woke up to the smell of coffee and the sound of Ava humming in the kitchen. I pulled on her hoodie, oversized and warm and definitely smelling like her, and patted in. She turned around when I walked in, smiled like it was just us in the world. "Hi," she said, handing me a mug. "Hi." We stood in the kitchen, drinking coffee in the kind of silence that didn't need filling. "You're glowing," she said eventually, bumping her hip into mine. "I think that's just the hoodie." "Nope." She looked at me. "It's you." I rolled my eyes and sipped, but I couldn't stop smiling. That night, I posted a photo of us at the farmer's market. It wasn't a big deal. No rainbow flags, no labels, just me and Ava, smiling in the sunlight, our heads tipped toward each other like gravity had made the decision for us. A couple friends messaged me immediately. "Jamie, finally, you two are disgustingly cute." "Lauren, you really thought I didn't know?" "Babe, please." I laughed, heart light. For the first time, I didn't feel the need to deflect or downplay. I just texted back, "Yeah, she's pretty great." Later, Ava wrapped her arms around me on the couch, her chin on my shoulder. "Still scared?" she asked softly. I nodded. "A little." "That's okay, I've got you." I turned to face her, heart full. "I think I'm finally ready," I said. "For what?" "To stop being the funny, closeted sidekick." She smiled. "Who are you now?" I kissed her. "Someone who's done waiting,"